As the founder and CEO of Women's Sports Chicago, Veronica McAllister has taken her entrepreneurial spirit to Chicago sports and beyond. Similar to other young leaders, Veronica McAllister's background has shaped her passions today.
So I'm originally from Pittsburgh, go Steelers. My family moved to the Midwest. My parents, for their music career, they moved us out here. I actually went to a really cool school that was divided by houses, and I attended the business house, where I learned a lot about entrepreneurship, probably more than I learned in college. But that shaped me, and then I eventually moved to the city, and I fell in love, and I've lived here ever since. I grew up playing all sports, but I never played organized sports. We didn't have club sports where I grew up, so that was like not a thing. So I always wanted to play soccer. I started playing with a homeschoolers group because I was homeschooled. We lost every game, but that was cool. That was my first experience with it. I started playing in high school, but that was like my first exposure to organized, like skilled soccer. Then I got really good when I was in college, but I didn't go to a school that had sports. So basically, in my college years, I had to play with a lot of guys. So I played a lot of pickup games with a lot of international guys who came from more like sexist environments where they'd never seen women play sports before. So that became frustrating. I started playing in organized co-ed leagues where I'd organize my own teams, and one day my friend and I, we were on the same team. One of the guys was like, "Oh, you played really well today," and she's thinking, "What? I played in college. I play well every day." He's like, "I saw that little move you did." So we took a risk. We started a meetup group, and shockingly, a bunch of girls signed up, and then we realized there was a need for it, and we couldn't find a women's league anywhere in the city.
While Veronica never knew her passion for sports would eventually lead to a leadership role, her affinity for athletics as a child and her desire to pave her own path made Women's Sports Chicago come alive.
My sister and I, we were very athletic. After church, I would go like race my cousins, or we'd like wrestle or something. So my sister and I used to play tennis a lot. We basically taught ourselves every sport. In fact, as a young woman, we never felt like we shouldn't be playing sports. Like, I can't imagine our childhood without sports. Watching women like Venus, Serena, we didn't have the technique, but we definitely got out there and pretended we knew what we were doing. But yeah, basketball, swimming, we literally did everything, and it took up all of our time.
Beyond athletics, Veronica also had an understanding of professional drive from a very young age. And while she never would have guessed she would create such a successful women's league, it's not surprising that she did based on her interest in business.
The more you remember about your childhood, then you kind of just realize that things are innate. So I think the entrepreneurial spirit is innate for me. I think I was born with it, because my first business was this club I created on my street, and we call the kids on the block, and we like designated our treasurer, and we had our secretary and all of that. We would do lemonade stands, and my mother reminded me that I like wrote out a business plan for this, and I was paying all of them based on all the money we made. So we like made those little peanut butter pine cone bird feeders. Like, we were literally trying to find anything we could do to get our corner store money.
While the players at WSC know Veronica as a fierce leader, she actually has a love for music that she hopes will shape her future.
Well, I always grew up wanting to be an entrepreneur, but I come from a musical family. So I'm actually a singer, and that's always been my main goal in life, is to work primarily in music. So this actually happened by accident, but sports has always equally been a passion of mine. In fact, if I could go professional in sports, I would have, if I could have. Yeah, but I've always wanted to do something that would empower women, and even if it's sports or music or anything, I feel like as long as I'm doing that, then I'm reaching my goal to empower women. Women want to feel strong, they want to feel like they have opportunities to be treated equally, especially in sports. Music is literally my life, and I know a lot of people say that, but I actually mean it. So my sister and I grew up singing together, and we write music, but she decided she wanted to go more the dance route. It's still artistic. So I am officially launching my career as a solo artist. So I'll be releasing my own music and everything, but I'm also starting a music management company. So that's sort of like me veering back to the entrepreneurial side, but in a musical way. WSC fits into the picture because it's obviously just one big serial entrepreneur type situation. For music, I just want to empower everyone. I want to create positive content, positive music that everyone can relate to, and that's sort of along the same lines of what I do with WSC and everything else that I'm working on.
Like all of Veronica's passions, her interest in empowering women stems from her childhood.
So growing up in a religious home, but it wasn't really the religion for me. My parents, they always taught me like the best principles of religion, which is to help other people and to make a difference in the world, and those are kind of the things that I clung to. So in everything that I do, even though I make sure that I'm taking care of myself, because that's one thing, my parents were very selfless and they kind of just gave too much to other people. So I try to take care of myself, but I also want in everything I do to not be selfish and find a way to make an impact on everyone else and give back in some way.
So with all of her entrepreneurial projects and endeavors, how would Veronica describe herself?
I typically use the phrase world changer and peacemaker. It's kind of it's very broad and anyone could say it, I think, but for me, describing myself that way reminds me that this life is not all about me and that there's so much more I can do beyond just pleasing myself and like gaining accomplishments for myself. So I've always had that perspective that I want to bring peace to the world.
While Veronica sees herself moving more into music as her career takes off, she's enjoying her summer both leading and playing for WSC. Her team made it into the first round of this season's playoffs. Here's a look at her team's creative name.
Our team name this year is Manchester United, as just a little play on words. And we were trying to come up with a logo, and one of our teammates made this very funny logo with like a cartoon chest, the hairy chest or whatever, and then we just decided last week that we would all wear wolf shirts.
Following her passions every step of the way, Veronica will continue to go where life takes her, whether in athletics or music.
I just have always had my own ideas.
And as you can see, she's always been willing to pursue them.